I'm Chris.
I'm Adrian.
And I'm Jimmy.
Welcome to Worldview Finder, episode 37. We did it, everybody. Woo! Live studio audience.
Glad we have access to that now. So
I'm so glad that there's a soundboard right here, so I'm going to just...
Push buttons.
It's not going to go well.
In every way possible.
So, hey, today we're talking about how far would you go to be viral, to go viral on your videos.
So far.
Uh-oh.
We're going to talk about the importance of caring about a talking rat.
Oh.
Ratatouille?
This is Adrian. I don't know.
Maybe.
You'll just have to wait till the end of the episode to find out.
But first, the scary truth about AI video. There's some new stuff came out.
There is some new stuff coming out.
Every time new stuff comes out, I get more and more scared.
It's very
It's
scary.
every week. Yeah.
Well, so the thing was, the newest thing before this was, have you heard of Midjourney? Or like the AI image generators?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so they got very, very realistic. So
Yes.
to the point where you could not tell if it was a real image or if it was a fake image. But now, just in the last week, they have released a new program called Sora, and this is an AI video generator.
Oh, no.
And the thing with this is it's basically Midjourney, but in video form. So they take a paragraph of text and then make it into this hyper-realistic video. So in our first tab here, show you kind of what some of these look like here. So, and then you can just play a little bit of this, and if you're listening, we'll paint you a word picture.
Yeah.
So this lady is walking down like the city streets, and
Looks like Times Square.
it looks like Times Square, and it's like super photorealistic.
Yeah.
Like if I saw this on the internet, there's like no way I would think that this is not real.
So does it take the background image? Does it take real images?
Wow.
I don't know how AI works. So, because I was talking to someone else about this, and it doesn't seem like it necessarily takes different parts of images and puts them together.
Yeah,
It uses some kind of witchcraft, I think it is.
That looks really
So that looks super realistic. And if
Yeah.
you scroll down, there's different ones. So we got some woolly mammoths here.
Oh, those are extinct.
Yeah, they are. But this
Not
is
anymore, apparently.
yes.
They're
And
back.
there was
Are
one.
they trying to bring them back though in real life?
Yeah, I think they're trying to.
I think this
clone
was the
them.
vlog where they did that. You can scroll down a little bit more. And this one, I would be totally convinced this is like the trailer for a movie.
So it just says it's a movie trailer. So
Those people don't exist in real life.
Correct.
Like those are fake people.
So it says the prompt is a movie trailer featuring the adventures of the 30-year-old spaceman wearing a red wool knitted motorcycle helmet.
It's very specific.
It's really
Blue
different.
sky, salt desert, cinematic style shot on 35 millimeter film, vivid colors. Okay.
That's incredible.
So the shot on part is what gets crazy.
The shot on 35 millimeter.
Yeah, because I watched one of a drone. So it was like AI animals riding bicycles. And then it was like, but make it a drone shot. And so you have like these different animals riding bikes, and then this, like, it looks like a drone is flying
over them while they're riding the bike.
Yeah, it's like in between them, and then it like goes up to like kind of show the whole picture of it and stuff. And
yeah, there's so many different things you can do, and you can make kind of these character designs and things like that. But it's crazy because it would take a whole team of people who knew animation just to do that.
Yeah.
But then also to create something that looks real without real people, that's basically impossible. But now it shows you the prompts that you can type in. Just by typing in a one sentence description, you can get these videos of real people that don't actually exist.
Oh, and this is, a gorgeously rendered papercraft world of coral reef.
Oh, it's papercraft. That's why they look weird.
Colorful fish and sea
Everything looks
creatures.
like it's made out of paper.
See, because
That is amazing.
Well, okay, so studio we talked about Chicken Run a couple weeks ago.
Love Chicken
Yeah.
And Shaun the Sheep and those kind of, that studio does a lot of claymation. And so will this get rid of that?
Well, that's the question, because like we said, those they can maybe.
I don't know. Yeah,
well, we'll leave it up. But yeah, there's so many different things you can do, and this is obviously just the very beginning of it. And I think Sora, you can put in a text prompt and it will generate videos up to a minute long. But I think down the line, this could be like you write out basically a script for a video, and it makes the whole movie.
Yeah.
Just by doing this.
And then would it have voice actors and stuff?
Well, yeah, because they already have
have voice actors.
One of my favorite ones is there's this YouTube channel that has the U.S. presidents playing different like Mario games, and you have like Obama and Biden and all these different people, and Trump's in there, and just it sounds exactly like them, but people write the scripts and just type it out, and then it's very entertaining.
My favorite one, there's a Lord of the Rings one where it's the characters all sitting on a couch and they're like wearing PJs or have like blankets on, and they're just rewatching the series, commenting on it.
Oh my gosh,
so funny!
But it's all fake. It's all
it's voices. Not really like Gandalf and Boromir. You're sitting there watching their movie.
Oh no, I thought it was like the actors were watching it, commenting on their movie.
Well, they are, but it's all fake.
Well, because at this point, it's basically getting to the point where anything that your imagination can dream up, you can make a reality, and you don't even have to have a lot of skills. Because like we said, people maybe could make these things with whole teams of really talented people for weeks or months of work. But now you can type something in and then get this totally original video.
Well, so to me, it's like, it's just going to change the way video and film is done, because now a lot more people who don't have the skill set can, but maybe they're great storytellers. They can do this on their own from home, which opens up a huge world, which I think is really cool. But then it also is like gonna take a lot of jobs away.
Well, not only that, I think there's something even scarier. So I've been looking into this, and this is why I called it the scary truth of, I've got some notes here. The scary truth of AI video is, now, have you guys, I heard this on a podcast not that long ago, did you hear about these explicit images of Taylor Swift that were made by AI?
No.
Oof, no.
Yes. So
the dark side of this.
Yes. So it gets scary because apparently it was going on Twitter to the point where Elon Musk had to stop all searches for Taylor Swift and ban all those for a period of time where no one could search it. But basically, it's these people who used AI to make it look like Taylor Swift was doing these super explicit things. Man. And now with video, you can take that so much further. And the guys on the podcast were talking about how, like high schoolers, because what it can do is you can take, if you have like images of someone on the internet, you can take their likeness and put it into these pictures and videos. So then you can basically cyberbully people by having these videos of them doing these explicit things. Yeah. And it looks photorealistic.
Yeah. This could go so many dark avenues, but also not knowing what's real and what's fake.
Yes. Because that was the other thing. They were talking about, in the future of like court cases and stuff. Because if it looks like you're on video committing this crime and it's photorealistic, how do you sit there and say, look, I know it looks like I'm doing that and you see me doing that, but that wasn't me. AI. That was AI.
And so,
there's going to be some really good conspiracy.
Yeah, you can get away with everything. Yeah. But so going back to the images stuff, I remember in high school. So this was like the start of the internet when I was in high school. Yeah. Way back in the late 1900s. But no, there was a guy that took a picture of a girl in our class and put her face like on a bikini model or something. And then like, it was like a really long process. He got in trouble for this, but it was kind of this. Like
he at least had to work for it.
Yeah, it wasn't just like, hey, put this person like in this. Right. And so so I like seeing that stuff of what they made. You're like,
bullying could really get out of hand.
Because the realism of it, and then the ease of use. Yeah. So if it can be super realistic, and then basically anyone can make it, then there are endless possibilities.
Yeah. So the worldview behind this, though, like what? Yeah. Because it's blurring those lines of reality. Because like our worldview is based on like truth and fact, and like this is how I interpret the world around us. And when all that is kind of almost stripped away, then we're left with more questions of like, what is real? What is truth? What, like,
are we living in a simulation?
Can I believe this?
Yeah, and what do you do?
Well, so it was rather humorous because it was on my Facebook feed. Some guy was like, can you believe the realism now of what people are doing? He's like, we'll never know. And it was like, it was Trump and Biden like having a picnic. And I was like, they're like hiking. And it's like, these images are so real. Nobody knows it.
Now they've gone too far. They would never picnic together.
Yeah, I know. It was that kind of thing. It's like, oh man, what are they going to do next? I was like, this is just humorous because it's like them playing chess in the park or like hiking through the woods. Yeah, having a little picnic lunch. But there are those things of like, was it 24 season 3 or something where like it looks like Jack Bauer kills the president at the beginning. You're like, now, I mean, that's a lot easier than back then when it took them.
I feel like I got trolled because my husband's looking for a job. Shout out if anyone wants to give him a job. He's a graphic designer. So I've been looking for jobs for him. And so I somehow got on this email list. And so each week I get this email and it says like from Jenny Johnson. And it's like curated for me by Jenny. And so it's like, here's a couple of jobs that you might like. At the bottom, there's a photo of her with her bio. You know where this is going. One week I was like, okay, I got to unsubscribe to Jenny because I don't know how she got me, whatever. And it always says like, if there's any way I can help you look for more jobs or not the right thing, whatever. So I go down to read her bio and it basically says like, Jenny is an AI created like person to help you do this.
Oh yeah.
And then it says like if Jenny would be of service to anyone else, like forward it on or whatever. But it had a picture of her. And I was like, this has not been a real person this entire time. And so like, I've got this picture and I've got this bio and I was like, this is too far
already. I mean, on Instagram, it's becoming a thing now where you have AI influencers. So you'll have these. Oh my goodness! Basically, like the fitness models that were normally influencers, but now you have AI versions of that.
Yeah, and you could just tell any video you want. Now,
yes, exactly.
Prompts.
And if it looks just the same, people are growing these accounts to hundreds of thousands of followers because, I mean, it's basically the same thing as other influencers.
And you don't have to make the content.
To do the work.
You just type in, hey.
Exactly.
Oh, my goodness.
Show this person lifting.
We got to jump on this quick
pounds.
to make some money.
I know. Husband needs a job, figure out AI.
We should just type out the prompt for Worldview Finder.
Yes.
Like, make these people funnier and better than us.
Please.
More biblically knowledgeable.
Make it all better.
Yeah. So I think it is very scary, the things that it could do. But I feel like that's also kind of what people thought about when the internet was becoming a thing. And there are a lot of terrible things the internet's used for, but there's also a lot of good things the internet's used for.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think, like, because growing up, I would have loved something like this because we would make videos all the time for our classes, and it was so hard. Like, we have a VHS tape.
Oh, my gosh.
You'd put it in a giant handheld video recorder.
But don't you feel like that just grew your character?
No, because I didn't know how to use it. Jason Fodstad had to make the videos for us because I didn't know what it was. Shout out to Jason Fodstad.
Oh, my goodness.
Classic.
So, but yeah, so I didn't know how to like do any of that stuff, and I wish I would have. But like, this is so much easier now because like with iMovie and things like that, I'm like, I can actually edit stuff, and it's not great, but I can at least kind of tell the story that I want to tell. And that
you see a lot of young creatives that do the same thing, where people are starting from 7, 8 years old, and they're becoming these big content creators because they have the tools available to them.
Yeah,
and hopefully they're good storytellers and too. So again, I think it's nice that it opens up a world for people, but at the same time, like you said, there's like a super dark side.
Yeah.
There's also like when are we going to know what's real, what's not? So what is something for our listeners or viewers? Like what kind of filter, like a worldview filter, do we want them to kind of look at this through?
Yeah, well, so again, all our worldview questions. So what, like when you're watching something, taking something in, like what's the worldview? What is this saying is good or bad? How does this compare to what Jesus says is good or bad? So what's the Christ-centered worldview in that? And then what does this content want you to do or change as a result of consuming it? So like what are they trying to get at? Is the author trying to make you do something, or what is their goal with that content that they created? And so with AI stuff, I don't like, because some of the stuff we were watching earlier was like a a butterfly in the ocean swimming like a fish, but it was like flying around through all these things. So stuff like that. I mean, it's just kind of
cool. It's beautiful. You can create things. There's a creator aspect to it, which is really nice and beautiful. But yeah, like, I'm like, what would Jesus say? Like, if you're like, Jesus, what would you do with this or something? Like, would it just be like, no, your mandate is still the same. So love God and love others, love your neighbors, yourself, so like, I think that's going to have to be your own filter, and you know what's right and wrong.
You know the thing. Yeah, but yeah. So I mean, if you're using this like to trick people and to try to deceive, obviously that's not a good thing. But that's just like you're tricking them or deceiving them
in other ways.
Yeah. So don't, Jimmy, don't
scam people.
Don't be a
scam. As people say, Satan doesn't have any new ways of getting people to sin. He just thinks of more creative ways to do the same sin, I guess. So it's just like, I feel like it's just this kind of continual evolution of different ways to have the same. It's all about like hunger and what, fulfilling desires and all those sorts of things. If you break it down to its root.
So can I use this, or is it a paid?
So I don't think this is open to the public yet.
Okay.
So this is, I think, just in the testing phases, kind of like ChatGPT, but before it went public.
So I'd like to ask my filmmaker friend what he thinks about this, because it might. I mean, I could see this taking a lot of jobs or things like that if you can just. And will movies be made faster? Finally.
No.
Years.
Absolutely not.
Yeah. Right. They will. Well. Hey, sometimes people might use this to get famous. So what would you do to become viral? What would you do to get that video out there?
That's been a question.
Billion subscribers. Yeah.
Of our age.
How far would you go? So it's time for Florida Foibles.
That was so good.
Yes. Yeah, especially with the reverb on your mic.
Honked my mic. Sorry. Okay. But yeah, so I found this guy. So there was a plane crash.
Jeez.
Plane crashed into a mobile home area. So, and I think 2 or 3 people were killed in this.
Wow.
And so it's already like a tense situation, and then the fire started breaking out after the plane crash. But this guy shows up and just goes under the police tape, and they're like, "Hey, what are you doing?" And he's like, "Oh, I'm a medical professional." And they're like, "Okay, let's see your credentials." Doesn't have any credentials. And then he's like, "Oh, okay, sorry, I'm just a nosy neighbor." Schifano is his last name, so that sounds like appropriate. Mm-hmm. But then later they find him back under the police tape filming all this stuff, and then he's like, "Well, I was filming this because I'm trying to make money." Like he's like, I was trying to capture a video for a media company in an attempt to make money.
Oh,
and so he got arrested.
Yeah.
Released on a $500 fine. So I guess he didn't make that money. They confiscated all the footage.
They confiscated
I was going to say $500. Maybe made more than that.
That's true.
But yeah, so I mean, because back in the day, Logan Paul?
Yeah.
Yeah. So he got in a lot of trouble because he
got banned from Japan.
Somebody, like dying in Japan. It was a sad situation, but he filmed it and then like laughed about it. And so it's kind of a very heartless thing. And then some people are like, well, that's just like he didn't know how to respond. That was just his emotional.
It was a nervous laugh.
Response. Yeah. But he also made the conscious effort to upload this to YouTube. Like, so it wasn't just like, oh, he did this and like, okay, shouldn't have done that. But he uploaded to YouTube. Yeah. And is he really, he's banned from Japan?
Yeah, I think so.
For life? Or is that?
As far as you know. Let us know in the comments.
So what, like, what would you, what are the limits, I guess, you have of becoming viral? Because this is one of the things that...
Well, it didn't sound like he was actually trying to become viral. He was just trying to sell it for money.
Trying to get that money.
For media.
He says that.
But he probably was.
Yeah.
I mean, who knows?
So.
Yeah. I mean, one of my favorite accounts of all those influencers in the wild. Because it's people taking videos of other influencers that they catch out in public trying to do something really stupid or whatever for likes and comments. And
people recording TikToks in public.
Wait, so it's called Influencers in the Wild?
Yes, because it's like if I were out and I saw some crazy person like doing a TikTok dance in the middle of Times Square, then I would film them and then I would send it into Influencers in the Wild and be like, look at this dummy trying to make money or whatever. Like,
so Influencers in the Wild, people send them stuff because they're like, how are they finding all these? They're just like following around,
constantly on the hunt for these influencers.
So my daughter brought this up the other day because we went to this father-daughter dance thing, and the whole time there was a guy and his daughter like filming the whole thing, and I thought
you should have filmed them and then sent it to influencers.
I know,
yeah.
So, but I thought it was just like that he was on a call maybe with his wife or whatever, like, and just showing like, hey, she can be a part of it or whatever. But it was like the whole entire time. And then what Quincy told me later was that the other friend that was there was like, oh, hey, I don't want to, like, let's get away from them because they're like doing a TikTok thing or whatever. And so they might have been can you live stream TikTok?
Yeah.
Okay. So they were like live streaming to TikTok the whole time, possibly. Like, I don't know. I didn't get to see it or whatever, but I mean, I'm probably on TikTok.
You're on TikTok.
Yeah,
because that stinks because it's like to be there with your daughter,
right? And then he's filming, but I think she was like fine with it. I think, but is that just the life that she knows?
Yeah,
right.
And so, yeah, because the whole point of the father-daughter dance is for like dads to like
connect with their daughters
and just to have that
unplug
that moment.
So Ryan Trahan, this actually brings up a good point. Ryan Trahan released a video about the Apple Vision Pro. We talked about that. And the video was, I spent 50 hours in the Apple Vision Pro. So for 50 hours straight, he had the Apple Vision Pro on the entire time.
Yeah. And did he sleep?
Yeah, he slept.
Okay.
Yeah, so he would like go black. But he had it on the entire time. And one of the lines towards the end of the video, because he does all these normal things like you would in a typical day, and he said he was watching back, just kind of the mundane moments. And he's like, I'm able to go back and kind of see all these, and I experienced them, but it almost felt like I wasn't there. And he said some of these moments are too precious to lose, even though that you are experiencing it through that technology. So it was kind of saying that, he's there, but since he's looking through this technology and not really present,
right,
then he's kind of missing out on the joy of the moment.
And yeah, and that's where I think like becoming viral or whatever, like we're trying to chase that next big thing or whatever and trying to either jump on the front of the bandwagon or just start the bandwagon or whatever. And sometimes, we go too far. Like, okay, I'm missing these moments because I'm trying to be funny or I'm trying to be over the top. And I think Nate Bargatze talked about this. I think we talked about it once before, but where he was saying influencers, he's like, it's almost like you have to always be on. It's like you're always doing something or that next big thing, and that the guy that like botched the pitch or whatever is what they were talking about. There's a guy that like threw out a first pitch, but he like tripped and like rolled or something, and everybody's like, "Oh, look at this guy!" But it was all it was all rigged. And I mean, it goes back to the AI stuff. Like it's just
what would you do? Yeah, everything seems so fake. Do you think like the pendulum is going to swing with the future generations of being so oversaturated with not knowing what's real and what's fake as they kind of like lose, they don't want to be on the internet,
So actually on YouTube, kind of the new thing is, because on YouTube specifically, not only fake things or staged things, but also just like super highly produced, super highly curated things were very, very popular. But the pendulum has started swinging where people are uploading a very long form, very just authentic and raw content, where it's just them talking to the camera, sharing their experiences. Or like there's a guy in the fitness world called Sam Sulek, and he makes a video every day where it kind of follows him through his day, follows him through his workout, and you just hear about kind of what he's going through in life. So it's basically the opposite of the super highly curated and performance based, and you're kind of just hanging out with them.
Yeah, photography went that way a lot sooner than that, and I wonder, I just wonder if that's where it's headed.
But at the same time, he's still recording himself, and it's still like, I have to produce good content. Like it can't be awful or boring.
So there's actually a restaurant in town, Bubba's 33.
What? Bubba's 33?
So they're doing they're doing screenless Monday nights or something. Where they give you a pizza box and everyone has to put their phone in the pizza box at the table. And if no one takes out their phone throughout the whole meal, then you get a free dessert at the end.
That's a good idea.
And so I was like, I wonder if more places are going to do that or promote that. Or
Chick-fil-A did that for a while. You get a little ice dream afterward. Like, yeah, they had a little box on the table and you put your phones in there. And
so Bubba stole it.
Oh, yeah.
Well, yeah, everybody, nothing new under the sun.
Nothing new under the sun.
You know sure.
Because for a while there was a game going around where like everybody would put their phone in the middle.
Yeah. Whoever touched it got. I just feel like if there's going to be more of those scenarios, because I think people are starting to see the reality behind like everyone sitting in a room together on their phones.
Yeah.
And that's just not how people want to interact anymore.
Well, I think people appreciate being disconnected from it. Mm-hmm. But if you don't have those, if you're just going through your daily life, it's hard to do that for yourself. So if you have those specific times where you do disconnect and you're like, oh, that was actually very refreshing to not be staring at my phone all day.
In our brain, I'm reading this book called Digital Liturgies, and I'll talk about it more once I actually finish it. But it's just talking about how our brain is being totally rewired as just humanity in general, just because of the internet.
That is true.
And
it's after us.
Yeah.
The internet. So, Adrian, you just finished a book. Speaking of reading other books,
yep.
You read a book and you said there's a talking rat in it. So it could only be one of two things: Ratatouille, or
it's a nonfiction. No,
this is actually my life story.
That Harry Potter scabbard rat.
Yeah,
whatever.
He was a human.
Same lines. No, I just finished reading a book called Tress of the Emerald Sea. It's newer.
Tress, Tress.
Yep.
Okay.
And it's by Brandon Sanderson. So he's
I read some books from him.
Very popular author in the fantasy realm, and so I thought it would be good to talk about it in case we have some readers on our hands. I would say it's for middle school and up. So it's actually, the content is really clean, really good. It was so disappointing at the very end. There's 2 bad words.
Oh.
Yeah, but they're not like really bad or anything like that. But it was just like, wait, why are these 2 bad words in there? Because then I was like, can I recommend it to your daughter, Quincy?
Oh, yeah. So they do use the word.
Yeah, they did.
Okay, that's what I thought.
And
it's actually the same word, but just twice.
Oh, man.
No, this is terrible.
This is great. Okay. We have a beeping thing. So
it's kind of your typical like fantasy adventure pirates at sea. Brandon Sanderson said in writing this book that him and his wife were watching The Princess Bride, and his wife said, "What would have happened if she, like the girl, what's her name?
Buttercup,
Princess
Buttercup would have instead of taking Wesley for dead, would have gone on the adventure to find him herself." And so he is like, that sparked a thing where these 2 characters fall in love at the very beginning. He goes away and she's been told that he's dead. She doesn't believe it, and she goes on an adventure. And it's told from a narrator's perspective, kind of in the same style as Princess Bride.
Is the narrator a rat?
The narrator is not the rat.
Like the lamp, not the rat.
But since it is a pirate book, he's
a pirate rat.
One of like the.
It could be Muppet Christmas Carol. There's a talking rat in there.
Yeah, like the lamp, not the rat.
Sorry.
So it's told from a perspective of a shipmate, and he's telling the story. So anyway. The worldview, though, that kept coming up time and time again was the fact that Tress, the main character, she gets everywhere and things happen to her in a good way because she takes time to listen to people. Oh. And so every good thing that happens is because she took a moment to get in touch with the character and be like, what do you need? How can I help you? And it reminded me of our One Piece conversation too.
One Piece is real.
Yeah, where he's a pirate, but he really cares more about people than kind of the end goal. And there's a couple of times where she says I don't think this is going to help me reach her man. Charlie, I think his name is. It's not going to help her reach Charlie, but it's the right thing to do because she needs to help people and not be selfish. So there's a a quote that I just wanted to read. It said, Tress settled down thinking about people and how holes in them could be filled by such simple things like time or a few words at the right moment. What other than a person could you build up merely by caring?
That's deep.
Ooh, so read that part again. Like the fill up the holes. I like that.
Yeah. She settled down thinking about people and how the holes in them could be filled by such simple things like time or a few words at the right moment. And so she was thinking about like, there's nothing else in the world can you fill up by caring about them. That was cool.
Yeah, I was thinking about
I was trying to find an example.
But there's lots of little like commentary on that, and it's like the importance of people and the importance of caring about people and not being selfish. So I thought it was like a good book with a good worldview in it.
Yeah. Well, so the Shema, like the Jewish prayer, it's the "Hear, O Israel, the Lord is one, the Lord our God is one." But that word Shema, listen, it's not just I hear what you're saying, but it's like I'm hearing it and I'm doing something about it. And like that's what, like in the Bible, like there's no separate word in the Old Testament for like listen and do. It's the same word. And so to listen to somebody is to actually do something about what they're asking you to do. Or so when you hear something, you're like, okay, I'm going to do something about it. And so I thought that was interesting. Yeah, it's just,
that's not always a good idea,
listening.
though.
Yeah. So, active listening, yeah, you're responding and like nodding, I'm hearing you or whatever.
Oh, right.
But it's like I'm doing something about what you just said. And so it's like when I like children obey, there's not a word for obey. It's listen to your parents, because the act of listening is if I'm actually listening to what you're saying, I'm going to do what you're telling me to do. And so it's interesting that she listens and does something about it. So she's Shema.
Yeah. And so there's a question actually that the narrator poses, and it's just simply worldview question. So it says, it says preachers, but they're not really actually talking about actual preachers. Okay. This is not a biblical or Christian book or anything, but it says each of those preachers had acted like they had the answer, like there was one purpose in life and all of life. A single answer would certainly make things tidier, like 2 + 2 is 4. And then she talks about the people that she's met along the way, like Anne really loves cannons and like wants to shoot a cannon in the right spot, or like somebody else wants to learn how to be like the best trader on the seas and stuff. And so he says, so were there many answers, or were they all the same answer with different applications?
Oh,
which that last gosh,
that was aggressive.
That was aggressive. That last question was great because it's like, were they all the same answer with different applications? It made me think about just how we all are made differently, but towards the same purpose.
Yeah.
And so I felt like that was a very biblical worldview of not everybody has, like we said, there is like our mandate to love God and love others, but then there's also but God has created us all differently with different passions and different things, because we are like the body of Christ.
See, I took it the opposite way. I thought it meant that, because you've heard the thing that, well, everyone has their own beliefs, but they're all kind of pointing in the same direction. Or you believe in so many gods, but it's all really the same God.
Yeah, and it could be interpreted that way too.
Yeah, because I think that's becoming a more popular thing, especially with younger people, is not saying, okay, there is one purpose for life, but I can give meaning or have meaning in whatever I want, and that will be my purpose for life.
Yeah.
So I was thinking about your bad word thing. Sorry, guys, because I had a revelation. Because Princess Bride, I don't think the movie has any cussing except like the last little, like the very end, and there's like 2 bad words. And so,
wow, is he being that?
Wow, what? It's not a coincidence.
I said, is he being that like true to the Princess Bride?
Princess Bride is an excellent read, by the way. If you've not read Princess Bride, I never saw it. So the movie actually was funny because Quincy had her 13th birthday party and they watched Princess Bride.
Oh, really?
Which is a great movie. But
awesome.
But the Princess Bride book Yeah, it's one that we talked about before because it's on the wrestling episode because it's like you don't know what's real and what's not because he writes it like it's real. See, they were doing the AI thing before. They were doing the thing before.
Now we're doing the thing.
Yeah, because so does in that is he writing the book as if he's telling another story?
He's like, yeah, he's telling the story of like, this is my experience.
Okay, yeah.
Of this.
So, but you never talked about the talking rat. You said the importance of listening to a talking rat.
Well, one of the characters that she listens to is a rat.
Oh.
And he always,
That's where the rat
That makes sense.
No, you think it's just like a normal like pirate book or whatever, but then she like runs into this rat and he's like trying to he's always trying to escape everything, but then he ends up staying with her. And so she says, like, she always tries to get rid of him in a way of like, you need to go and pursue your dream this way. You need to go do this. And he always stays with her. And she's like, why do you stay with me? Like, why don't you go find your family or whatever? Because he keeps talking about his family. And he goes, because you're the only person who hasn't tried to use me for like money or like put in a circus or whatever. Because it's like, oh man, that's a talking rat. They understand that is a weird thing. Awesome. Yeah. So like basically you're the only person who hasn't tried to exploit me. You care about me. So I tend to stick with people that are caring.
Yeah. Well, that's cool. We did it. Yeah. So what was the name of the book again? Tess and the Pirate Hunters?
Tress of the Emerald Sea.
Tress of the Emerald Sea. And so, except for those two bad words at the end, it might be a good...
Yeah, I would say it's a good book.
A good read. So, and Princess Bride. It's been a long time since I read it, but I liked that book too. So, all right. Well, hey, next week, I think, if we can manage it, we might be talking about the new Avatar's Last Airbender live action show.
Yeah, so watch the first episode.
And then next week we'll come and we will have not watched it, but maybe. So we'll see.
Will.
All right. Hey, thanks for joining us. It's on episode 37 of Worldview Finder. I'm Chris.
I'm Adrian.
And I'm Jimmy.
We'll see you next time.